Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton going head-to-head for a final time in repeated heated exchanges, culminating in Trump's unprecedented declaration. Will it change minds? Here's ABC's Terry Moran from the Spin Room in Las Vegas. Terry.
Thanks, Byron. Well, that was a slugfest, quite a night here tonight, a proper debate and some big headlines. Let's get right to it. John, Carl, Rick Klein. John, what is the big headline? What'd you make of tonight?
The fact that Donald Trump would not commit to accepting the results of this election is the biggest moment of that debate, but really one of the real moments of this entire election. That, as you know, is the bedrock principle of American democracy. The loser concedes, the winner accepts. We move on.
I agree with John. This was a singular moment in American debates. To have that candidate out there saying, I may not accept that, to leave that lingering, I think is going to have Republicans squirming to try to explain that away over the next couple of weeks. Donald Trump needed to have a very big moment. He had it, but it was exactly the wrong kind of moment for him. This felt like a debate in a race that already ended.
He seemed a little bit more focused at times, no?
I thought that during the first half of this debate, he was incredibly focused. He kept on the issues. He did not take the bait. But then, as the debate went on, he lost focus and he started to flail around, and that's when the big mistakes happened.
Does it change the game at all?
I think it ensures a bad storyline for Donald Trump for these next couple of weeks, and it limits him. I think this was a play to his own base in talking about the election results and talking about the issues, the name-calling even. I think it's inherently restricting to what his campaign can mean, and I think he needs something dramatic to happen to change the course of this race, because right now he is on a path that heads in the wrong direction.
Yeah, he needed the big change, and he didn't get it.
He didn't get it, but it was an entertaining debate. And for the blow-by-blow in this slugfest, let's go to my colleague David Wright, who's taking us through the big moments.
Tonight, one final showdown.
She should never have been allowed to run for the presidency.
The dust up in the desert.
He is denigrating, he's talking down our democracy.
Las Vegas, Nevada, host of plenty of prize fights, but none quite like this.
Such a nasty
trust
woman.
fund.
Clinton called Trump a hypocrite on the issue of saving American jobs.
In fact, the Trump hotel right here in Las Vegas was made with Chinese steel. So he goes around with crocodile tears about how terrible it is, but he has given jobs to Chinese steel workers, not American steel workers.
Mr. Trump?
I ask a simple question. She's been doing this for 30 years. Why the hell didn't you do it over the last 15, 20 years? You were very much involved. Excuse me. My turn.
There's only one of us on this stage who's actually shipped jobs to Mexico, because that's Donald. He's shipped jobs to 12 countries, including Mexico.
Trump questioned the value of her experience.
You do have experience. I'd say the one thing you have over me is experience, but it's bad experience, because what you've done has turned out badly.
She pushed back on the notion that she has the wrong sort of experience.
Absolutely, and she seemed prepared for that. She then listed all the things that she was doing with what Donald Trump was doing.
In the 1990s, I went to Beijing, and I said women's rights are human rights. He insulted a former Miss Universe, Alicia Machado, called her an eating machine. And on the day when I was in the Situation Room monitoring the raid that brought Osama bin Laden to justice, he was hosting the Celebrity Apprentice. So I'm happy to compare my 30 years of experience.
It's a line I think we're going to hear over and over again the next 20 days.
Tonight, once again, the two debated the significance of the boys on the bus.
Grab him by the
Billy Bush's Access Hollywood bus, of course.
Mr. Trump, at the last debate, you said your talk about grabbing women was just that, talk, and that you'd never actually done it. And since then, as we all know, 9 women have come forward and said that you either groped them or kissed them without their consent.
First of all, those stories have been largely debunked. Those people, I don't know those people. I have a feeling how they came. I believe it was her campaign that did it.
Well,
Secretary Clinton.
Clinton hit back.
he held a number of big rallies where he said that he could not possibly have done those things to those women because they were not attractive enough for them to be assaulted.
I did not say that.
In fact, he went on.
Ugly.
He goes after their dignity, their self-worth, and I don't think there is a woman anywhere who doesn't know what that feels like. So we now know what Donald thinks and what he says and how he acts toward women. That's who Donald is.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody. Nobody has more respect.
Please, everybody.
Russian President Vladimir Putin had a cameo tonight.
He'd rather have a puppet as president of the
No
United
puppet,
States.
no puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
Tonight, Trump and Clinton debated abortion. Sharp differences.
I am pro-life, and I will be appointing pro-life judges.
I strongly support Roe v. Wade, which guarantees a constitutional right to a woman to make the most intimate, most difficult in many cases decisions about her health care that one can imagine.
But high-minded by 2016 standards.
This is the first time abortion has come up in any of these debates.
Well, I think it's terrible. If you go with what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby.
Well, that is not what happens in these cases, and using that kind of scare rhetoric is just terribly unfortunate.
On other issues, they went straight for the jugular. Immigration, for instance.
When it comes to the wall that Donald talks about building, he went to Mexico. He had a meeting with the Mexican president. Didn't even raise it. He choked.
First of all, I had a very good meeting with the president of Mexico. Very nice man. We will be doing very much better with Mexico on trade deals, believe me. The NAFTA deal signed by her husband is one of the worst deals ever made of any kind, signed by anybody.
Donald knows a lot about this. He used undocumented labor to build the Trump Tower.
We're going to secure the border, and once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
That term bad hombres that Trump just used, already trending on Twitter. Apparently, a lot of people found it offensive.
A lot of people might not understand the connotation of that, and so I'm gonna lay it out there. And this is not political. This is not partisan. This has nothing to do with anybody who's running for office right now. It has to do with the word and the way in which it was used. It was derogatory. It was offensive.
He's unfit, and he proves it every time
You
he
are
talks.
the one that's unfit.
Trump tried to use leaked emails from Clinton's own campaign manager against her.
John Podesta said you have terrible instincts. Bernie Sanders said you have bad judgment. I agree with both.
Well, you should ask Bernie Sanders who he's supporting for president, and he has said,
Which is
as
a
he
big
has
mistake.
campaigned for me around the country, you are the most dangerous person to run for president in the modern history of America. I think he's right.
All week long, Trump has called this a rigged election.
The election is being rigged. They have rigged it from the beginning. The election is being rigged by corrupt media.
Tonight, an astonishing moment. Trump refused to say if he'll accept the results of the election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit
What
to
I'm
that
saying
principle?
is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris, let me respond to that because that's horrifying.
Trump accused Clinton of conspiring with the media against him.
She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime. She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged.
Clinton suggested Trump is just a sore loser by nature.
There was even a time when he didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged against
Should have
him.
gotten it.
This is a mindset. This is how Donald thinks. And it's funny, but it's also really troubling.
How surprised were you that Trump wouldn't promise to accept the results?
I thought it was stunning. This is really a hallmark of our democracy. Both his daughter and his running mate said that they would commit to it. And there he said he was going to keep the country in suspense.
And right after the debate concluded, we grabbed Matt Dowd for some instant analysis.
Let's go over here where we get a little more light. I didn't see them shake hands at the end, did you?
No, they didn't shake hands.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at the beginning and not at the end.
Were you surprised at his answer to the question about will you respect the results of the election?
I was shocked because I've never heard an answer like that in all the elections I've been involved in.
That's sort of not part of the American tradition.
No, and my fear about this is that he's setting it up for a divide in the country that is going to be very hard to heal.
Well, there are still 19 days left as of tomorrow, so maybe he'll come around.
I think he's going to get serious criticism by Republicans over the next 48 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good because, there was a little bit more focus on some substance that people want to hear about.
The astonished by the fact that Trump would not agree to the outcome. If he doesn't win, then it's rigged. He does not want to play by anybody's rule except his rules.
The Clintons are cheaters. I mean, they cheat. They've been cheating forever. So somebody had to call them on it at some point. And lucky these WikiLeaks came out, because the WikiLeaks make it clear beyond any doubt that they cheat. They get questions before the debate. Who gets questions before the debate but a cheater?
We want a fair fight. But what I saw over the last few days coming out, and what I've seen in the WikiLeaks stuff coming out, it hasn't been a fair fight.